Hello and welcome to the daily English news program on Azerbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Rəsmi. Intensive implementation of road infrastructure projects continues in the territories liberated from the occupation in the Qabarıq and its Zangezur economic regions. These projects are not only important steps to restore the infrastructure destroyed by the enemy for 30 years, but also change the face of the region, make a significant contribution to its socio-economic development.
More than 2 dozen road projects are being implemented on the territory of Qabarıq and its Zangezur economic regions. The bulk of the work that began more than a year ago, one must say, has already been completed. 12-kilometer-long four-lane Füzuli-Hadrut highway was built in accordance with the first technical category. 42% of earthworks and 21% of pipe laying and crossing construction have been completed. The length of the two-lane highway on the first technical category, Hadrut to Azak Cave, is 22 kilometers. On the section of the road of 2,700 meters, the lower layer of asphalt concrete pavement was laid. The four-lane 45-kilometer Bərdə-Ağdam highway corresponds to the first technical category. Earthworks on the road are 57 complete, pipe laying and crossing construction is 45 complete, and bridge construction is 93% complete. Part of the work on the three-lane highway on the first technical category, Qabarıq with a length of 28.5 kilometers, has already been done. Work is underway on the destruction of rocks and the construction of earth bed. Work is underway to design the Qabarıq-Mahmudlu-Yazdısı border with Armenian road, which is 26 kilometers 400 meters long. At the same time, the construction of road infrastructure in the territory of Kəlbəcər and Laçın regions is systematically continuing. Work in all these areas is planned to be completed before the end of this year.
The implementation of projects in the energy sector, especially in the field of renewable energy sources through the private sector, is one of the strategic directions in our country. Within the framework of the program National Priorities for Socio-Economic Development Azərbaycan 2030, one of the identified 5 areas is called Clean Environment and a Country of Green Growth. In this regard, a green energy zone is being created in the territories liberated from the occupation. It is planned to build a solar power plant with a capacity of 240 megawatts on the territory of the Jabrayil region. Work is also underway to restore small hydropower plants. Research is being conducted on the efficient use of wind energy. Detailed information about the ongoing work was provided during a media tour organized at the Qabarıq solar power plant. Co-chairs and board members and partners of the Nizami Gəncəvi International Center have sent a letter to President İlham Aliyev. The letter says that the Nizami Gəncəvi International Center highly appreciates the President's offer to host peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. The letter stressed that Baku is a neutral venue for such discussions and recalled that our capital had previously successfully hosted meetings between NATO and high-ranking Russian generals. We hope that the conflicting sides will accept the proposal and Baku can play a significant role in resolving the deepest security crisis facing Europe since the Second World War, the letter said. The Nizami Gəncəvi International Center also called for fruitful discussions between Russia and Ukraine to immediately stop operations. The Russia-Ukraine war caused the growth of food products and prices around the world. Because Ukraine accounts for 7.5% of world grain exports, Russia and Ukraine together produce 60% of the world's sunflower oil. Due to the war, the suspension of cargo transportation in the Black Sea and sanctions against Russia led to food shortages in the world. How will this situation affect Azerbaijan?
Çünki ərzaq təhlükəsizliyi, enerji təhlükəsizliyi qədər.
Because food security is as important for any country as energy security. Of course, although Azerbaijan imports some food products from foreign markets, we need to try to maximize domestic production and protect ourselves from emergencies. We saw last year that some countries introduced bans on the exports of a number of foods. Therefore, in the interest of self-sufficiency, we will continue supplying the domestic market using domestic resources. Russia-Ukraine tensions proved how true was the position of the President of Azerbaijan in regards to food security. It should be noted that Azerbaijan imports agricultural products, meat and dairy products, and grain from Russia. From Ukraine, we import meat and poultry products, powdered sugar, dairy products, and vegetable oils. Russia has now banned the sale of grain to the Eurasian Economic Union, which it considers its closest allies, until June 30th, and the sale of white sugar to the rest of the world until August 31st. The processes have raised the issue of food security again. However, there is no need to worry about a particular deficit. Azerbaijan possesses sufficient grain reserves. Organization on food imports have adapted to work in a crisis situation during the pandemic. Until now, the main objective of the state in regards to agriculture has been strengthening of food security. This concerns the increase of the level of food sufficiency. Warehousing and logistics infrastructure is developing in order to provide stability to the food security issue in Azerbaijan. We're self-sufficient in wheat at about 60% through local production, 40% falls on import sources. Recently, more than 400,000 tons of cold storage infrastructures have been created at the expense of state support. There are modern grain elevators with the capacity of about 1 million tons. All of these are important factors to increase food security at the expense of domestic production, as well as establishment of strategic reserves for food products provided by outside sources.
Shooting exercises were carried out in accordance with the plan of the regular warrant officer training courses held at the Training Educational Center of the Armed Forces. Tactical and technical features of weapons, rules of their handling, as well as safety rules were taught. During shooting exercises conducted in the field conditions, the main focus was on the timely detection and destruction of targets with precise fire, following the rules of proper aiming. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.